Picture this. It's February 1258. The Tigris River, which for centuries fed the greatest civilization on Earth, is changing color. First, it turns black. Thick, dark, inky black. This isn't mud. It's the ink of a million books, the world's entire knowledge. From Aristotle to Al-Khwarizmi, thrown into the water by conquerors who couldn't read them. Then, the river turns red. A deep, iron-scented crimson. That is the blood of 800,000 people. This isn't just a battle. It's the funeral of a golden age. This is the story of the Siege of Baghdad, the day the Mongol war machine met the pride of the caliphate, and why the world was never the same again. At the center of Baghdad sat Caliph al-Musta'sim. He wasn't a warrior. He was a man who lived in a dream of past glory. When Hulagu Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan, sent a letter demanding surrender, the caliph's response was pure arrogance. He told Hulagu, "You are but a young man. The entire Muslim world will rise to crush you if you touch Baghdad." But al-Musta'sim was wrong. The entire Muslim world was fractured. Hulagu wasn't a young man to be trifled with. He was a strategic demon. He didn't just bring soldiers. He brought Chinese engineers who knew how to build siege engines that could shatter the invincible walls of Baghdad like glass. Hulagu didn't just attack. He played a game of psychological chess. He surrounded the city with a massive ditch and a wooden palisade, just like they did at Plataea. He trapped the world's most sophisticated city inside a cage. When the caliph's army finally marched out to meet them, the Mongols did what they do best, the feigned retreat. They led the heavy caliphate cavalry into the lowlands, and then, in a stroke of terrifying brilliance, they broke the dikes of the Tigris. The land flooded. The heavy cavalry was stuck in the mud, drowning in their own armor before a single Mongol arrow was even fired. On February the 10th, the walls were breached. What followed was a week of pure, unadulterated nightmare. The Mongols had a rule: if a city doesn't surrender, no one lives. They moved through the streets of Baghdad like a scythe through wheat. The House of Wisdom, the world's greatest library, was empty. Centuries of medical, astronomical, and philosophical progress were used as literal bridges for the Mongol horses to cross the river. The screams were so loud that Hulagu himself had to move his camp upwind because the smell of death was becoming unbearable even for him. Then came the fate of the caliph. The Mongols had a superstition. They feared that spilling royal blood on the earth would cause natural disasters. So, they came up with a respectful way to kill the king of kings. They wrapped al-Musta'sim in a thick, expensive Persian rug. Then, they ordered their cavalry to ride over him. The leader of the Islamic world was trampled into a pulp inside a luxury carpet. It was the ultimate irony. The gold he refused to spend on his army was now being looted from his palace while he was crushed beneath the hooves of steppe ponies. Baghdad, a city that took 500 years to build, was destroyed in 7 days. The irrigation systems were smashed so badly that the region didn't recover for centuries. The Golden Age didn't just end, it was erased. We talk about the Dark Ages in Europe, but the true Dark Age began when the Tigris ran black with ink. If you've made it this far, you realize that history isn't just a list of dates. It's a warning about what happens when arrogance meets an unstoppable force. What do you think was the bigger loss? The 800,000 lives, or the million books that could have changed our future? Let me know in the comments.